Okay.
All right, Miss Anna, it is all yours.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay. Let me get you guys out of my way. Okay. So what Carlita has been doing that Saturday morning area manager training, and she hit on this this past weekend. And so I just figured I'd put it out there again. And basically, if we change our beliefs and we shift our mindset, you can grow your business, and not just your business, but it's for everything in your life. But mainly, that's what we're looking at here. And oh, my thing went too fast. So what my goal is for you tonight is to understand how your belief system dictates your point of view, and recognize when you're working from a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, and hopefully empower you with steps to grow your business. So I have to remind myself of this all the time, and that's that your outer world tends to be a reflection of your inner world. And for me, this always shines for me when I feel like I'm overwhelmed and my business is chaotic or sporadic, or even my family is, just running all over the place, or I feel like I'm completely out of control. And I have to stop and remind myself that that means that there's stuff internally that is out of control, or I'm allowing things to overwhelm me. So I have to get quiet in my inner world and get organized and grounded in my inner self before anything else in my outer world is gonna go well. And that's just something that I always strive for, to keep in my forefront. And also, just for any of you, when you're looking around and you're kind of like, well, why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? And a lot of times we just kind of want to fix what's on the surface, but we have to really get down deep, and that's your inner world. So how does your inner world get created? Well, it gets created from your belief systems and the power of your subconscious mind. And over 90% of what we do every day comes from our subconscious mind. And I was recently got to hear, I spoke at a training for American Airlines, and I got to hear some of the other trainers. And it was really interesting because one of the other trainers kept saying, you want to be in control of your mind, but she didn't tell anybody how strong your subconscious is. And for me, where that gets into us to be mindful about our business is that this is new, this is different. And you probably didn't before sit down before you go to bed and write out all the things that you need to do to focus on for your business. You probably didn't carve out time for your business, or to make customer calls, or to make sure you have all these things. So it takes you out of your subconscious thought pattern, and you have to consciously, actively do things for your business. And when you do that, when you start doing that, it's going to shift some of your subconscious thoughts, but you have to have that belief. And that's where you keep hearing, if you can work on your belief first, and if you can't believe in yourself, then always believe in the products and the company, and get that belief from your upline or from your sidelines, or just all about everybody else in Arbonne that is working their business. Borrow that belief, because your belief is what's going to give you the power. And that's because it needs to go into that subconscious mind, because that's where you think from, most of us. This is kind of a little overview, so you can kind of get an idea of where we're moving as consultants, and where we're going is that our subconscious mind just does everything habitual, monitors what's going on, likes familiar, sees things as literal, and works on lots of pieces of information at one time. Where we have to get into our conscious mind, that's where we set goals, and we not so much judge, but we analyze our goals, and then we tweak them, and then we make adjustments. And that's where we think result oriented. And that's where you can also look at, okay, time bound, meaning I want to work on something in a certain time frame and work towards that. And then also very limited processing capacity. In other words, I'm going to focus for 20 minutes on this one activity, making my calls. I'm going to focus on 20 minutes on this activity of getting my party pack, my clipboards and everything else ready as soon as I come in from an event so that it's ready to go for the next time. So this is where we're all shifting, is to get more conscious about our business. So this is a little bit about the fixed mindset and growth mindset. If you are looking for a book on mindset that kind of explains a little bit more so that you can understand why you might be stuck in an area or get a little bit on how to make some changes, there's a book called Mindset, A Tale of Two Minds. It's by Carol Dweck, and this is actually a picture from her book. And people with a fixed mindset, they see challenges as just that, just not great and something to be avoided, to balk down at. People with a growth mindset see a challenge as an opportunity to grow, expand themselves, develop new skills, push themselves beyond their comfort zone, and then create a new comfort zone. Fixed mindset people see obstacles all over the place, and they see obstacles as things to settle behind. They don't see obstacles as something to climb over. Again, with a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset, they see obstacles, but they look at those obstacles and they come up with action steps to already overcome them. So, for example, when I'm setting my goals, I'll write my goal, and then I look at what obstacles I see that can come up in my trek to reach that goal. And then I'll create action steps that will give me kind of a plan to have in place in case that obstacle comes up. For example, not related to Arbonne, but say you're gonna, if you like where we are, gonna go to downtown Dallas. My goal is to get to downtown Dallas. I'm gonna meet with, in fact, this just happened. You guys know that I'm working with a cardiologist. Well, his office is down Dallas. It's 38 miles one way, and usually it's about an hour in traffic. So the goal is to meet with him by 5 o'clock because that's the time that he's given me. And I've got to have everything planned out that we're going to talk about, because usually he gives me 10 minutes of his time. So can you imagine that? I drove all the way down there and I get to talk to him for 10 minutes. And so my obstacles that come up are, sometimes when I've gone down there, he's been called into surgery. So I've got to have an action step that if I get down there and he's not available, what action can I take that's going to know that I value the relationship that we're building, but also that I was there and that he missed out on me. And I know operating on somebody is way more important than meeting with me, but I don't want to miss that opportunity to connect with him again. Another obstacle that I run into a lot is traffic. And so I have an app that I've downloaded that gives me different ways to get around the different traffic, so I'm not late for him. Another obstacle, again, that I have is he typically is very much research oriented. So I try to take a new book or a new article, a journal article that supports what I'm doing, so that he keeps seeing what we have as a value. So those are the types of things when you look at obstacles. Do you see it as just that and it's just too much to get over it? Or how can I get around it? Or what can I do to overcome it? So the other stuff that sorry guys, I have to put my glasses on. Arbonne needs some vision stuff. The other thing that we see for fixed mindset is how much effort it's going to take. So many people with fixed mindsets, they'll look at something and they'll be like, oh my God, that's too hard. Or, oh, that's going to be too much work. They see effort as being fruitless and not worth their time. And people with a growth mindset see that if you put in a little bit more effort, you're going to get a greater yield. You know, there's that whole saying, at 212 degrees, you just have really hot water, but at 213 degrees, you get steam that could power a steam engine. So it's just that little bit more effort. Fixed mindset look at criticism as negative, and they usually will ignore feedback because they feel it as being picked on. People with a growth mindset are always looking for a learning opportunity and always looking for that feedback. And so if you are new in the business or you've been in the business and you're kind of like, I don't want to talk to her because she always picks on me, grow your mindset and look at it as, what does she have to tell me that I can learn from? And that's something that I just absolutely love with Mel, because I will call her usually even after a training like this. I'll say, give me the lowdown. What did I miss? Where could I have tweaked it differently? When we're doing the three-way calls or we're doing prospecting calls, when you're doing the three-way, ask for the feedback after you get off the call. It's the only way that you're going to be able to grow. And then it just really helps you be able to connect to more people. And so when you see criticism as an opportunity for growth versus being picked on the other side, if you're giving the criticism, look at it that way too, is that you want to make sure that the criticism you're going is actually criticism that's going to empower the person, not beat them down. So there's a little bit on there. And the other part about fixed mindset is that fixed people typically look at the successes of others as like, well, look at her. She's always getting her bonus. Golly, that's great. There's that little sarcasm, or I don't know how she does that. She must have something up her sleeve. Instead of looking at, like with the growth mindset, it's like empowering and wow, look how fantastic. If she did it and she works full time and she has 4 kids and, she has all this stuff going on and she did it, that means I can do it too. So the success of others, the way you view it and the way you support other people definitely tells you what type of mindset you have. But the great thing about it, guys, is that you can change your mindset at any time. And how you do that is really, your brain is the biggest computer that we have. And so you need to scan your computer for viruses, malware, adware, and spyware. And what that is that's where thoughts have been placed into your head or belief systems that you have that no longer serve your purpose. You've made a decision with Arbonne. You've made a decision with your life. You've made a decision to make a business and have residual income and build up yourself and the people around you. And yet you'll have viruses and malware and spyware tapping in there, leaking out, and you'll have things like this. I can't do this. I'm so stressed out. I failed in the past. And so you want to scan your mind for those types of things and squash them. You want to recognize that they are not yours. These are some of the words that you will listen to when you're talking to yourself, and sometimes even when you're speaking out loud, and switch your words. Words are very powerful. They have an energy about them. They have a vibration about them, and they do, in fact, bring about your reality. So watch what you're saying. And these are some of the words. So disempowering words, or malware, or adware, or viruses. I love that, spyware. Should, have to, must. You want to empower yourself to choose, desire, want, and could. Everything we do is a choice. Every single thing we do is a choice. Disempowering, can't. Empowering, I'm willing to. I choose not to. So if you're not, like, I choose not to go to Vegas, or I choose not to let these cancellations get to me. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to Vegas. I don't have a week full of bookings. Okay, I choose to create some outside parties. What are you going to do for that? Do you always say things like, oh, I never get bookings. I never win the call blitz. Oh, people always cancel on me. See how disempowering those words are versus, well, sometimes people will cancel because life happens. I mean, look at poor Melanie. She's not feeling well today. She's got that stomach flu, and I know, had a cabbie party today she did swap the party for a party, and she had to cancel on the lady. So if that person has a fixed mindset and is a negative, they'll say, gosh, see, everybody always cancels on me. Instead of looking at it as, wow, this seldom happens. I mean, how many people really get the stomach bug, all the time? That doesn't happen all the time. It's not always. That's seldom. Looking at taking ownership for where you are instead of you make me feel this or you make me do that, and looking at it and say, no, I feel this. I own my feelings. Are you trying? Are you aiming? Are you intending? Are you committing to something? Okay. When you're looking at other things, and a lot of times when we're making our calendar, we'll let other stuff pop up, or we'll look at our Arbonne dates, and we've secured them, but then something will come in and we'll go, yeah, okay, well, maybe I can move something around. If you've got it in your calendar and you're committed to it, and it's aside, you can sit there and say, no, I already have a commitment. So these are just a little bit more of the words. Instead, all the way down the bottom, you see a problem, opportunity, or challenge. And my favorite word is possibility. I like to say, what's the possibilities that are here? Instead of, oh, what's the opportunity I'm missing? No, I'm not missing any opportunities. I'm looking for, there's a bunch of possibilities that I haven't thought of yet. So what's the possibility here? What else is possible? And that's the way I like to shift my mind around those. So you guys know I talk about self-talk all the time, but I wanted to show you a little bit of the way self-talk looks like, and that there's 5 levels. And the first one is negative acceptance. And that's where you say something like, I just don't have the energy I used to have when I was younger. Or I just don't have the energy that's in your head. Level 2 is recognition. And that's where you recognize, I really do need to create more networks and circles of influence. You've recognized that you need to make a change in your business. Level 3 is actually that decision to change. I no longer require training wheels, falls, and alls I can ride by myself. And this is in your business too. And I did this early on when I started my business, because I recognized that Mel has her business and she works, and I didn't want to rely on her. I just wanted to jump and realize, okay, I'm not doing my training wheels. And if I fall, I fall. And I know that I can do this, and I'll make it right if I mess up with a customer, and I'll utilize customer service, and I'll utilize the resources that I have. Not because Mel wasn't accessible to me, but this was my mindset. My mindset was, it's the fastest I can get to writing on my own, the better off I'm going to be, and then I can show other people how to do the same thing. And then level 4 is better you. I know what I need to do, and I do it. I know that things worth getting are worth working for, and I work for it. And this is where I think so many of us are, especially if you participated in that call blitz that we had last weekend. And congratulations, because even if you just got on the phone and called people, that was way ahead of anything else that you had done. So this is where most of us are. We realize that we wouldn't need to work towards it. And then the other thing is there's 5 truths about fears. The fear will never go away as long as you continue to grow. And if you're in this business, guess what, guys? You're going to grow. You're going to grow. So just know that you'll always have that little bit of fear. The only way to get rid of fear is to go out and do it. So the only way to get over the fear of doing a party is to do a party. The only way to get over fear of prospecting somebody is to go prospect somebody. The only way to get over the fear of making calls is to make calls. The only way to feel better about yourself is to go out and do it. Whether you mess it up or not, is to go out and do it, because then you realize it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. 4, not only will you experience fear whenever you're in an unfamiliar territory, but so does everyone else. Every single person has the same fear as you do when you're prospecting, when you're making calls, when you're going to someone's house, when you're driving to somewhere for the first time, when you're bringing on a new business builder, when you're coaching somebody else. Everybody has the same types of fears. 5, pushing through the fear is less frightening than living with the underlying fear that comes from feeling helplessness. And what this speaks to me is that even though you have the fear, when you look at why you started this business in the first place, if that reality were to happen, that's got to be, in my mind, worse than feeling the fear of going out and prospecting somebody and hearing the word no, or hearing, oh, you're involved in a pyramid. So how do you make the changes? The first one is you have to commit to excellence. You have to commit to being the best version of you that you can be. And you know what? When you reach that, you create a new version of you, a better version. So you're always striving to be the best version of you, and encouraging those people around you to be the best versions of themselves. The second is that you identify your number 1 limiting skill to your sales success, and you make a plan to become the absolute expert in areas. You're looking at that one limiting skill set for you, and make a plan to become the absolute expert in that area. So for me, and it takes a while. It takes a while. For me, it's networking. That is my number one limiting skill. I don't have lots of connections. Like I do know, when we make the little circle charts and who do you know here and who do you know here and who do you know here? I don't have all those. And that's because in my line of work, you're pretty much on your own. You are on your own. You don't have time to go have coffee. I know a lot of people who are nurses and they work very, very hard, but they're kind of with the same group of nurses and they have coffee together or what have you. As a therapist, what I would do is I was a substitute therapist. So I would come in and substitute for somebody who is trying to leave or whatever. Patients might meet a couple of people and then I go to another area. So I was never in a place long enough to have a strong network. And then the other downfall for me too is I know a lot of people who are like, I have all these friends from high school. Well, we moved every 3 years. So I don't have a lot of that either. So for me, networking is my number one limiting skill. And I strive every day to improve myself on that because I want to become a great expert in that area. So look at what's your number one limiting skill and go there. Number 3, we hear this all the time. Soar with eagles. My dad, when I was growing up, would tell me all the time, you cannot soar with eagles when you hang out with a bunch of pigeons. Okay. And that's not to say pigeons are bad, but if you're wanting to grow and be more of a leader, if you're wanting to be more confident, if you're wanting to be more of who deep down inside you were made to be, you have to go be with people like that. You have to go be with people like that. So number 3 is soar with eagles. Number 4, and I implore everybody all the time on this one, take excellent care of your health, physical and mental. And the reason for that is because if your house is strong, if your physical house is strong, then your soul has a place where it can grow and nurture. And then you're going to be mentally tough to protect that house. Okay. And because if you don't take care of that, you can't take care of everything else that you need to take care of. You just can't. You might be able to do it for a little while, but it's going to catch up with you. And so you absolutely have to take care of your health. Number 5, and you hear this one a lot too, get crystal clear on your vision and then use laser beam focus. The mind is very, very visual. And if you can make it as super clear as you can, you don't have to know how all the little steps are going to come in there. But if you make the postcard vision of what it is that you want and you keep that very clear, divine love will move everything to put the path in place for you to achieve that because you're going to have the belief and the mindset that's going to create it for you. Number 6 is practice positive self-talk continuously. Constantly speak loving words to yourself, and that's also going to have you speak loving words to everybody else. I would encourage you to change music that you're listening to, monitor the shows if you're watching TV shows. All of these things have a direct effect on you and create that spyware and malware and adware that we're talking about. 7, accept your personal responsibility for where you are in your business and take action. This is another thing that I look at for myself all the time. When somebody says something to me like, well, how long have you been in Arbonne? And I say, this is my 5th year. Oh, well, where are you? Do you have the car yet? No, I'm at the 2nd level. Well, why aren't you at the car level? Quite frankly, I'm not at the car level because it's me. I didn't do 12, 15, 16 activities a month. That's why. And I haven't always consistently done 8. There you go. I haven't consistently been in front of 40 people a month. I take personal responsibility for that. It's nobody else's fault but my own. And so that's where if you change your beliefs and shift your mindset, you'll grow your business. It all starts and stops with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Anna, you are so, this is such a field of expertise for you. I love it when you train on mindset. You guys, Anna has done a lot of reading and research and training on the mindset, you guys, and there is so much power in the distance between your two ears. You guys, that's where your success lies. And if we can learn how our mindset works, you guys, we can set ourselves up for success. It's something as small as that can create huge changes in your life. Mindset is so very critical to your potential and living it out. So, Anna, thank you so much for your training tonight. Anna pulled this together today. She stepped up as a leader for Mel because Mel was not feeling very good. So to think that you pulled this together for us today, Anna, says a lot about your leadership and how committed you are to helping other people succeed. And so we just appreciate the time that you poured into us tonight, and just sharing some of that expertise with all of us as we continue to work on training our mindset so we can further ourselves. You guys, so much of what we teach in this business is life skills. I think about, like tonight, for example, I think about how so many of the tips that Anna shared, and I love the slides that you shared with us. I think, oh my goodness, my kids need to hear this. Oh, my kids need to hear this. You guys, so much of what we train on is areas in our life that are going to grow us, not just in our Arbonne walk, but every area of our life. They're going to strengthen our leadership as a mom, our leadership in our marriage, our leadership in our relationships outside of Arbonne. Every area, you guys, were able to take this information and live out. So, Anna, thank you so much. I am going to give you guys an opportunity to unmute, and or if you would like to share a comment or question for Anna, now is a great time to do that, and then I will close our call with our team declaration. So go ahead and unmute if you have a comment or a question for Miss Anna. And then Anna, make sure you check the chat section below because I think there's a lot of responses there.
I did.
Okay.
There's so
Anna, great job. This is Melanie. Thank you so much. And you know what? You totally just confirmed that you were supposed to do the training tonight because the outline I had started to put together was on mindset, but that is your area of expertise, not mine. And so I'm so grateful. God just totally confirmed that mindset is what we were absolutely supposed to hear about tonight. And you're the queen there. So thank you. It was really, really good.
Hey, get better real soon because we're sharing a room.
Yeah, amen to that, sister.
Oh.
No cootie bugs.
We got each other's back, don't we?
Yeah.
Hey, I will tell you the Digestion Plus is what made me finally quit puking. So anybody who's got the vomiting bug, if you can figure out how to get it down dry under your tongue, it will make you stop.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Travel with that if you're going to Vegas. All of us travel with that. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight and sharing your time with all of us and allowing us to invest in you. We will go ahead and close out our time together with our team declaration. For those of you that may not be going to Vegas with us this week, just know that you're going to be missed dearly and thought of often. And certainly be watching our Facebook wall as well as any other communications that we may send out, because we are going to definitely try to bring Vegas to you as much as we possibly can. So tonight's team declaration says this: we declare that God will accelerate His plan for our life as we put our trust in Him. We will accomplish our dreams faster than we thought possible. It will not take years to overcome an obstacle, to get out of debt, or to meet the right person. God is doing things faster than before. He will give us victory sooner than we think. He has blessings that will thrust us years ahead. This is our team declaration. I love you guys. Go out and have an incredible week and be the difference maker that you can be. I love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Bye, Vicki.